for the Seaside High Drumline. Thank you for that amazing performance. As you make your way in, we're going to ask everyone to rise for the color guard, the combined color guard of Marina High, Monterey High, and Seaside High, and the singing of the national anthem by our very own Visual and Performing Arts Coordinator, Jackie Hope.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful performance, Jackie, and thank you again, Color Guard combined of Marina High, Monterey High, and Seaside High. Good morning, MPUSD. I'm Marcy McFadden, and I'm the Chief of Communications and Engagement for the district, and I'm so excited to welcome you here to the 2017-18 school year. Whether you went on vacation, had a staycation, or stayed behind to get our school site in the district ready for the school year, we hope you had an enjoyable summer. We have an outstanding day planned for teachers and classified staff alike. We have breakout sessions led by your colleagues. And so we're just very excited about this day. Some of us are watching remotely from our newly renamed District Services Center, so we want to give a shout out over there to the DSC, to our Facilities Maintenance and Ops team, our Transportation team, our Nutrition Services, and our Business Services team. So hello over there at the DSC. Woo! So today would not be possible without a myriad of individuals who really started the planning for this back in the spring before we even got out of school. And while there were numerous people to name, we're just going to recognize the departments that really worked since last spring through over the weekend really to prepare this for us. And that's our staff at Ed Services, our staff in Student Support Services, staff in our IT department, staff in our communications department, and our facilities and maintenance and ops. But we really want to give a special shout out to Principal Carlos Moran and the Seaside High staff. We know how hard it is to get a school site ready for the school year, so the fact that Carlos takes us back every year to host this year, we are so grateful. I know he's probably tired of getting all of our calls and text messages Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but we just want to thank you for really being a host to us and just really making this happen for all of us so everyone at MPUSD can enjoy a back-to-school kickoff. Before we jump into the program, I'd like to just make some recognition of our board members, our MBTA and CSEA presidents, and our cabinet members. So when I call your name, please stand. I'd like to introduce Board Member President Dr. John Hill. Also with us today is our Board Vice Chair, Ms. Alana Miles. While our other board members would like to be with us, many have full-time jobs that they're at or other obligations. So we'd like to just call their names out. Board Member Tim Cheney, Board Member Deborah Grommersbacher, Board Member Dr. Betty Lusk, Board Member Tom Jennings, and Board Member Wendy Root Askew. Together, they work tirelessly on behalf of students for our district, so we thank them for their dedication and service. I'd like to now recognize our MBTA president. He is not with us today, Mr. Tom Gritch, but he's your new president for this year. We do want to recognize and thank, we didn't have a formal setting to thank Ms. Allison Schweifler, who served for your MBTA president, I believe it was 5 years. So we just want to give her a big thank you. But with us representing MBTA in place of Mr. Rich today is Mary Greenfield and Lauren Mock, who are also your representatives. And then on behalf of CSEA, I'd like to introduce your president, Ms. Anna Macaluso. And I'm not sure if she's here at the DSC, but thank you, Anna. And then lastly, I want to introduce your superintendent, Dr. P.K. Diffenbaugh. And then I want to introduce our cabinet members. I want to introduce our new Associate Superintendent, Ms. Cresta McIntosh. Our new Assistant Superintendent, Secondary Ed Services, Ms. Beth Bodecki. Our new Assistant Superintendent of HR, Ms. Baiju S. Beltran. Also here with us in the room is our Chief of Technology, Ryan Altemeyer. And then watching over at the District Services Center, our Associate Superintendent of Business Services, Brett McFadden. So before I bring up Mr. Drake Johnson, a student from Marina High School, to start us off with the inspirational poem, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't take a quick 20 or 30-second pan of the room and post it on social media. So I'm gonna start over here, and as I go across, I want you to wave, shout, jump up and down, give me your loudest, most obnoxious cheer. I'm gonna get it ready, and then I will bring up Mr. Johnson. Okay, ready, set, go. All right, thank you for indulging me. You'll see a lot of that throughout the year, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that whole thing. So now it gives me great pleasure to bring up Marina High School student Drake Johnson, who will provide us an inspirational poem.
We can rationalize the failures of the past, or we can learn from them. We can complain about the troubling inadequacies of the present, or we can face them. We can talk and dream about the glorious schools of the future, or we can create them. If we want children to learn to think and read, we must show them thoughtful people eager to take in new information. If we want them to be brave and resourceful, let them see us risking a new idea or finding a way. If we want them to be loyal, patriotic, and responsible, let us show them that we can be true to our deepest principles. If we want new and better schools, we will have to be new and better people. By Marilyn Ferguson.
Thank you, Drake. So now I'd like to take the opportunity to welcome up here some of our students from Marina Vista and Olson Elementary. Together with music teacher Todd Clickert, they developed a song and dance to the MPUSD Way values. Incredible. Thank you, Marina Vista Olson and Mr. Todd Clickard. It now gives me great pleasure to welcome our first speaker of the morning to inspire you, Miss Sarah Prather from Olson Elementary.
When I was first asked to do this, I thought, oh, I can't do it, but I teach kindergarten. I can do anything. All right, well, good morning, MPUSD. Welcome back. Growing up, I always wanted to be a teacher. I can remember constantly making my friends play school, sitting in rows on my bedroom floor. Of course, I was always the teacher, maybe a little bossy, but I loved to create math pages, read books, color, do puzzles, but most of all, organize my materials. And those that know me, some things never change. I was always the easy student in school. I did my work, and my family was always there and available for me when I needed it. I was the fortunate one. Unfortunately, we know that not all of our students are this lucky. Not all of our students have the drive, enthusiasm, and support as I did. I was the exception. So, how do we teach those not prepared and teach those who are resistant? Human connection. Picture this. The alarm goes off, you're nice and warm and cozy in your bed, and it's time to get up for work. Ugh, it's that time. You roll out of bed, start your morning routine, shower, coffee, and so on. Finally, you arrive to work and open your classroom door, expecting an icy cold, dark classroom. Surprisingly, the heater is going and the light's on. Come to find out, your custodian has come just a bit earlier to start the heater. Don't worry, David Chandler, just a few minutes, just a few minutes. So, you don't have to walk into that icy, cold, dark classroom. Puts a smile on your face. Your day's already looking up because of one simple act of human kindness and connection. Every day as educators and employees of MPUSD, we have the opportunity to make a positive difference in our students' lives. I've been working in the district since 2008, from student teaching to subbing, and this will be my 5th year teaching kindergarten at Olson. Go Orcas! Our jobs are hard and not so glamorous. We don't just come for the giant paycheck or for the recognition, because we know that doesn't always happen. We come because our students need us. We must take on the challenge of, first and foremost, creating a safe and positive environment for all students, including all students of all races, religions, genders, citizens or non-citizens, and sexual orientation. We must seek first to understand our students. What do they need on a personal level before we can even begin to think about teaching them? My students are 5. Yikes. As my mentor teacher says, it's like trying to keep 20 corks underwater at the same time. I often hear, how do you teach kindergarten? Are you crazy? Oh, how cute. Do you have nap time? But honestly, I think I have the best job in the world. Sorry, I'm such a wimp. No. My students surprise me each and every day with what they are able to achieve. I have now taken it as a personal challenge to see how much they can actually learn. They're able to hold productive conversations using phrases like, I respectfully disagree, or I joyfully agree, and continue to explain their thinking process using mathematical terms. That's good stuff. I think I was eating paste and riding a tricycle when I was in kindergarten. Now, are we going to like all of our students all of the time? Probably not. And we all know the toughest ones are never absent. But it's true. But they show up for those human connections. This is where we start. I've had some tough students, but by the end of the year, they've come a long way. We don't have to make miracles, we just have to make a difference. I'm excited and a little nervous, I'm sure, as we all are, for a new school year. But as Rita F. Pearson said in her TED Talk, we can do this. We're educators. We're born to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. It now gives me great pleasure to invite a member of our classified staff up here. Miss Renee Corbishley was formerly the SOS at Monterey High School, and for the last 2 years, she's served as confidential or executive assistant in the district office for Ed Services. Let's welcome Renee Corbishley.
Wow. So before I start, I find when I do hard things, it's easier for me if I first admit and acknowledge and put out there that this is really hard. I was a sophomore in high school, and it was the only time I ended up in the principal's office because I refused to go and stand in front of my peers and do a current event. Because I don't speak publicly, it's really scary. But this is a year for me, and I think us, to dream big and dare greatly. And besides, it isn't about me. It's about all those little people that were just here a minute ago. So. Now I feel better. So, good morning. My name is Renee Corbishley. I've had 14 incredible years of service with MPUSD. I've had the pleasure of serving as an elementary attendance clerk, high school digital media specialist, principal secretary, and school office supervisor. It's only been 18 months, but I've been at the district office supporting educational services on the elementary side since then. So today I'd like to share some thoughts with you about my developing understanding of knowing versus learning. As a child, it was important to know. Knowing for me in my house meant safety and security. It meant nobody was going to get hurt. Knowing was expected, and learning was not celebrated. This is bothering me. School was about performance. You get the answers right, you show what you know, and that meant security for me. Knowing resulted in the praise that I craved, and learning didn't feel valuable. Through many years in my chosen career as an office professional, I have tolerated the discomfort of learning a new job or task to attain the knowledge I needed to carry out my duties. The repetitive and routine nature of my particular work eliminated the fear and emotional turmoil that I felt that came with a lack of knowledge. I felt successful, and I received praise for following established procedures. Creativity and innovation was perceived as too risky and something to be avoided. While listening to our superintendent's first welcome address 4 years ago, my perspective began to change. While I don't recall his exact words, and forgive me if I get them wrong, what I took away from his speech was his vision of MPUSD as a community of learners. A shift in culture with the goal of transforming MPUSD into one of the greatest school districts in the nation began. From our littlest learners in preschool to our most veteran teachers, we are all encouraged, and to me, almost of more importance, we are allowed to learn. We are lifelong learners, not lifelong knowers. Last summer, my discomfort with not knowing became overwhelming. As a 50-year-old first-time college student, I enrolled in my first math class in over 30 years. I don't recommend taking math in the summer, especially not after 30 years. Struggling to remember formulas and to perform with perfection, because always that's my goal, right, was a miserable experience, and I hated getting the wrong answers. A math teacher friend of mine recommended I sign up for Joe Bowler's Stanford How to Learn Math course for students. My thought was, I can't even manage my basic math class at MPC, and you want me to sign up for a Stanford math class? Being desperate, I followed her suggestion, and I'm so glad I did. I came to understand that the dreaded feeling I get when I struggle is called growth, and it's more than a means to an end. In her August 2016 interview with Gary Antonick of the New York Times, Professor Bowler says, "It's the time when your brain is struggling and challenged. That is the time when brains are sparking and firing." My brain was sparking and firing a lot because that math class was a struggle. As is true with many of the lessons we learn in school and life, there is an application to other areas. Last fall, as a part of my continuing education, I enrolled in a co-op work experience class. My assignment was to identify a project, pitch the idea to my supervisor for approval, and then work with my advisor regularly to report on the progress. My project vision was clear. At about the same time in an Ed Services meeting, team meeting, we were asked, if you were to receive an award in June, what would it be for? Then we were each given a sheet of paper with a picture of a trophy, my visual aid, and we were to label it here with what it would be for. I was terrified. I wanted to write my work experience project name, but I didn't know how to accomplish my goal. What if I failed? I started to write, and then I stopped. Finally, I did write it down. School Office Supervisors Leadership Academy. In partnership with Kim Eggleston, Human Resources Administrative Secretary, I don't know where you are, but you're here somewhere. Excuse me, I lost my place. Under the guidance of Communications Director Marcy McFadden, and with the overwhelming support of Superintendent and the Cabinet, the School Office Supervisors Leadership Academy was piloted. The Academy was modeled after the Principal's Leadership Academy, with the intent of providing our school office supervisors, with quality opportunities for professional growth and a cohesive professional cohort. We received positive feedback on the pilot and are excited for additional sessions, as well as for expanded opportunities for classified professional development in this upcoming year. I do have my trophy, which I showed you, and I was right. I did not know how to start an SOS Leadership Academy, but through the help of a supportive community, I learned. My role is not that of an instructional leader. However, my willingness to take risks or dream big and dare greatly, to reflect, to adjust, and evaluate my mindset and the effectiveness of my practice impacts instructional leaders and ultimately improves the delivery of service to our students, which is the reason we're here. While it has been said that knowledge is power, I believe that a willingness to learn is where the real power lies. Thank you for your time and attention and your dedication to our learners of all ages.
Thank you, Renee. So, question. How would we impact MPUSD students' futures if we all dream big and dare greatly? At the end of last year, we asked students and staff to dream big and dare greatly, and we're about to show you what they said. And I want to give special thanks to Isai Ogarrio-Martinez in the Communications Department for always putting together such outstanding videos and collateral material to promote our district. So think about it. How will you dream big and dare greatly this year? And now I would now like to welcome back to the stage Marina High School student Drake Johnson.
Hopefully now that I know how to use the mic, I won't have any hiccups. I'm really honored to be here today, and I'm just really hoping that you all can learn at least something from my message and my story that I have to give to you. Dream big, dare greatly. These few words actually really resonate with me. As some of you may know, I am a competitive cheerleader, and the sport does come with a lot of commitments and a lot of responsibilities. This is very much so in my case. I cheer on a team located 2 hours away, so you know, 4-hour round trip driving 4, 5, 6 days a week, along with 4-hour practices, gets pretty tough. And when you couple it with AP class on AP class, after school program after after school program, club memberships, class cabinet positions, it can get really, really overwhelming. But I kept doing it. And I know some of you may be thinking I'm a little bit crazy or that I was biting off more than I could chew, but that wasn't the case. I just had a dream. A dream that I decided that no matter what, I was going to do. I wanted to be a world champion. And to make it a little bit more relatable, it's basically an Olympic champion for cheer. And so for 9 years, I sacrificed a lot for this dream. I dared to skip out on all of those really fun experiences you have as a child. You know, all those movie nights with friends, all those baseball games with dad. I gave up a lot of that to accomplish my dream. A dream that is literally impossible for millions of people to accomplish. So I stand here today as a testament that if you dream big, that if you dare greatly, that you will accomplish whatever your goals are in life. And I'm not just here to show you that, yes, we can accomplish our goals, but that you all have a part in helping us students accomplish our dreams. I had an English teacher that, for these last 3 years, would sort of jokingly hype me up for being this national champion and being this great cheerleader. And although we were just joking around, this pride he had in me really inspired me to be great. Whenever I talked to him about how I was going to become a world champion, he supported me. He even adopted to start calling me a world champion before I had even done anything. And I still remember when I was backstage before that last performance, thinking about all the people in my life who helped me that I was going to win for. I thought of him. And as we students go on to college in the next part of our life, these words of encouragement we've gotten will carry on with us. And although sometimes it doesn't seem like it would have as big of an impact, that fundamental support can really help your students as old as high school or as young as elementary. I remember one day in 2nd grade, I was having some conversation, I don't remember what it was, but it was with my principal at the time. And at the end of the conversation, he looked at me. And he said to me, he said, "Drake, I could see you being president one day. But make sure you keep working hard. Because if you do, you can become whatever it is you want." And although I was only 7 years old during that conversation, that one talk I had with my principal that I really looked up to spiraled into this big idea that I've held true my entire life. That I can do anything I set my mind to. And that I will do and that I will do everything I set my mind to. And ironically, now my biggest goal is to become president. So as I leave, I want you to all know that you have the ability to really impact your students. That as teachers and staff, there is a responsibility to help bring up these students, to help them find their path, and to help lead them to their goals. And even just a few words of encouragement, just by showing them the smallest amount of support and care, you can push your students to dream big and dare greatly. Thank you.
Thank you, Drake, for sharing with us the reason why we are all here. It is now my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. P.K. Diffenbaugh.
Thank you very much. When I was sitting here, I got a text from someone real special to me, said, wow, it's amazing the energy in this room and what you're creating. And I immediately shot back what we are creating. And so I want to just recognize my wife in the back, Vanessa Diffenbaugh, my partner in everything. So I wanted to speak a little bit about Dream Big and Dare Greatly and what that means to me. When I dream big for our district, the dream is to be one of the finest public school systems in the country. And what does that mean? For me, that means that all students, regardless of background, regardless of race, socioeconomic status, status as an English learner, foster student, or a homeless student, will graduate with opportunities to pursue their passions, opportunities for an upwardly mobile career, and opportunities to give back to their community. That's my dream when I say dream big. Right now in the United States, in California, also here in Monterey, where you live and your parent educational status or income level is often a predictor of the opportunities that you will have in the future. So when I say dream big, I want our district to be a district where demography does not equal destiny, where you grow up, who you were born to, the economic situation, your race, will not predict the opportunities that you have. Because if you go to MPUSD, you will have opportunities irregardless of your background. That's what I mean when we say big, dream big. In terms of dare greatly, we cannot be afraid to work at the edge of our current knowledge, to learn from what we do well, but also for when we fail. We cannot be afraid to believe in the power of possibility, in the eternal optimism for the next class, the next day, the next moment. And we can't be afraid to take risks. I'm going to go a little bit off script here for a second, but I see someone in the back of the room. There was a young man who was not afraid to leave his home, everything he knew, run to the fire station, knock on the door, and ask for help. And through a variety of circumstances, that young man became my son. And my son is now an employee of the district, and I just want to introduce Trayvon in the back. I think he's an example of the benefits of daring greatly, risking everything that you know for the possibility of a different future. So how do we get from where we are to our dreams? I'm going to introduce 6 pillars. Some of you have heard this a little of this before, about the things that we need to focus on as a district in order to meet our goals and meet our dreams. So the first is powerful teaching and learning. We know that the single greatest in-school factor that determines a student's achievement and their possibilities is the quality of instruction they have each and every day. And we're fortunate in that we have tremendous educators in our midst. And while I would like to highlight everyone, there's some that have received special acknowledgement over the last few years that I want to highlight so that you can see the excellence that's in our room. I'm going to read them all off and then we can cheer for them. William Pace was nominated for MCOE Teacher of the Year. Ann Madden, nominated MCOE Teacher of the Year. Martha Henry, KSBW Crystal Apple Award. Tessa Morrow, KSBW Whistle Award winner, Golden Whistle Award. Joy Chandler, KSBW Crystal Apple. Jason Nicholson, Alan Griffin Teaching Award. Gary Childs, Carlson Family Foundation Teaching of Excellence. If you could rise and just be recognized for your excellence. And there's so many more that could be recognized. But teaching is not just a formal action. The little moments every day make a difference. And whether you're a certificated teacher or a staff member, you all have an opportunity to teach students every day. So I want to honor some classified staff that have been recognized over the last few years for their powerful teaching and learning of students. Joyce Morrison, Classified Employee of the Year. Naomi Allen, Classified Employee of the Year. And our own Eddie Standifer, MCOE County Classified Employee of the Year. Can be raised. And we view our leaders as lead learners and as educators and as powerful teachers. And I want to recognize Rebecca Tyson for AXA Secondary Principal of the Year and Katie Rivera for AXA Pupil Services Administrator of the Year. So powerful teaching and learning is something we do each and every day, and we need to get better and better at it for the service of our students. The second pillar is positive district school and classroom culture. Quite simply, this can be defined as kids loving to come to school each day and staff loving to come to work each day. All of us contribute to this, but I want to highlight a few folks. These people are the first person often that students, parents, or staff members sees in the day, the last person as well. The quality of their interaction is so important to the type of culture that we're trying to create. And so I'd like the SOSs, typists, clerks, bilingual and community liaisons, secretaries, or all front office staff to rise and be recognized for building a positive culture. Our third pillar is a commitment to equity. This is the recognition of systemic inequities in our society, in our system, that are largely based on race and class, and to make a commitment to disrupt these inequities. It requires a commitment to analyze our own biases, conscious and unconscious, to stretch beyond our comfort zones, and to learn to practice in new ways. We have a long way to go, but I'm proud that in the last 3 years, our A through G rate, or those that have the opportunity to apply to a four-year college and university in the CSU-UC system, has risen from 44% to 56%. And this is a result of everyone's hard work, but particularly our counselors, college and career specialists, registrars, and our coordinator, Carly Peck. If you could all rise and be recognized for your commitment to equity. Fourth pillar, leadership as the lever. We're defining leadership not as a position, but as an action. And everyone has an opportunity to exert their leadership on the system for positive impact. There's a lot of people who do leadership actions every single day, but I want to highlight a few that you've heard about before. These two women pretty much single-handedly created something out of nothing. They realized the need for an academy for our school office supervisors, and they took the initiative to create them. And I'd like to recognize Renee Corbishley and Kim Eggleston for their leadership. The fifth pillar is service mindset. All our departments exist to serve the sites. The sites are where the children are at. And so we must work hard to remove barriers and increase our focus on helping you so you can do the most important job, which is to help our students and families. There's 3 departments that I believe has exemplified the type of service we need. Some are here, but many are in the District Services Center preparing for a training there. So I'd like to highlight for their service mindset the IT technicians and IT department, maintenance and operations who have done a heroic job this summer, and our custodial staff that works hard each and every day. Hopefully they're still watching. So finally is innovation and creativity. And this is the acknowledgement that the system that we're trying to work in is fundamentally not designed to produce the outcomes that we're trying to achieve. It was created in a time when many students were to be enculturated into the American United States from immigrants, as well as serve as in the factory. Now we're trying to have each student reach high levels of learning that they have boundless opportunities and possibilities. So we need to be innovative and creative within the system. There's some that would suggest let's just blow up the system and start over, but that's not feasible. We have a system, but we need to not act as if we've always acted, but be innovative and creative within that system. And often people think of technology or whiteboards or computers as innovation, but to me innovation is simply acting in a different way to get different results. And there's one department that I'd like to highlight that I think is truly innovative and does not get the recognition. They've started California Thursdays, Beta Tray, farmers markets, second chance breakfasts, to name a few. Our nutrition services staff is a model of innovation for our district, and I believe they're up at the District Service Center, but I want all of us to acknowledge and give them a warm round of applause. So finally, I want to say how proud I am to be the superintendent of MPUSD and to work alongside each and every one of you. I'm struck by the level of commitment of our district. When I first was announced 4 years ago, I received a standing ovation. And that let me know that I was in a place that was going to be home for me for many years to come. So I'm proud of the work we're doing. I've told our board and said publicly that I would challenge anyone to find a district that has improved more than we have in the last 3 years. With that said, we know how much more we have to do and what the type of work that's going to be. But I know that the people in this room have the commitment, the capacity, and the passion to get it done. Thank you very much for everything, and I look forward to a wonderful school year. Thank you.
So to close us out, the Seaside High School drum line will come, but before they start playing, I just want to thank everyone. You all know where your breakout session should be. If not, there'll be people in the Dream Big, Dare Greatly shirts that will help you. So we have classified and certificate breakout sessions today, and just ask in the blue shirts if you need help. Seaside High School Drumline.